Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're getting into a concept that absolutely turned modern management on its head, the critical need to reduce variation. Now, that might sound a little dry, but trust me, the implications are huge.
So, to really get this, we have to see the world through the eyes of the great Dr. W. Edwards Deming. You see, for him, quality wasn't some fuzzy, nice-to-have goal. Nope. It was something you could measure. It was a predictable, dependable product that customers could always count on, delivered at a price that made sense.
All right, let's jump right in. Here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll nail down the real enemy of quality. Then, we'll get into Deming's wild idea about who's to blame for it. After that, we'll break down the two different kinds of variation, figure out how to get them under control, and finally, see the amazing chain reaction that all this hard work sets off. Okay, so what's the one thing, the single biggest culprit that gets in the way of quality? Doesn't matter if you're making a sandwich or manufacturing a satellite, it's always there.
It's variation. That's the enemy. I mean, think about it. Variation is just another word for unpredictability. It's what causes defects, scrap, rework, delays, and, really frustrated customers. So Deming's whole point was that our number one job has to be hunting down and reducing that variation, making our processes as rock solid and dependable as possible.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Deming didn't just name the problem. He pointed his finger at a cause that was, let's just say, pretty controversial for its time. And here it is. This is the big aha moment. Deming dropped a bombshell. He said that a whopping 85% of all quality problems, all the mistakes, all the defects, are not the workers' fault. They're the fault of the system, the processes and management practices that the workers are stuck with. I mean, this just flew in the face of everything managers believed back then. This quote says it all, right? This was the earthquake. He was telling the world to stop pointing fingers at the people on the front line for issues they literally had no control over. If you want to really improve quality, you have to fix the system itself. And that, my friends, is a job for management.
So you might be asking, okay, how in the world do you fix the system? Well, Deming gave us a playbook for that. And it all starts with learning to see the difference between two totally different kinds of variation.
On one hand, you have common cause variation. This is just the natural, random noise that's always baked into any process. Think of it as the system's background hum. On the other hand, you have special cause variation. This is different. It's a signal. It comes from some specific, unpredictable event. Here's an easy way to think about it. Your daily commute. The usual traffic lights and congestion, that's common cause. A sudden 4-car pileup that shuts down a lane, that's a special cause. And this table just lays it out perfectly. A frontline operator or supervisor can deal with the special cause, help clear the accident. But they can't do anything about the common cause, the everyday traffic. Only management can do that by maybe redesigning the intersection or changing the timing of the lights. Only management can improve the system. So just knowing the difference between these two types of variation is absolutely crucial. But Deming then gave us the tools to actually see them so we could finally start managing them the right way. The main weapon in his arsenal was something called statistical process control, or SPC for short. It's basically a way to use data to listen to the voice of your process over time. It's kind of like putting your whole operation on a heart rate monitor to see if it's healthy and stable. And this is what that monitor looks like. It's called a control chart. You see those lines? They show the natural, expected range of variation for the process. As long as your data points are bouncing around between those lines, everything's cool. The process is stable. But look at subgroup 4. See how it dropped below the lower limit? That's your alarm bell. It's screaming that a special cause just happened, and you need to go find out what it was. Okay, so what do you do once you find a problem or you just want to make the system better? Deming gave us this beautifully simple yet incredibly powerful tool, the plan, do, check, act cycle. It's a never-ending loop for improvement. You don't just guess. You plan a change, you test it out, you check the results to see if it actually worked, and then you act on what you learned. It's the scientific method for business. All right, so what's the big payoff? Why go through all this trouble focusing on systems and data and variation? Well, Deming laid it all out in what he called the chain reaction of quality. And this right here is the magic. It's a beautiful domino effect. When you improve quality by driving out variation, your costs just naturally start to drop. You have less waste, fewer mistakes, you're not constantly fixing things. Because of that, your productivity goes up. Now you can give your customers a better product at a better price. And when you do that, you capture the market, you stay in business, and you can create more jobs. It's a win-win-win.
So let's end with this. Deming was crystal clear that management owns the system. So I want you to think about your own daily work. What's the one thing in your system, that common cause variation, that always seems to cause problems or make things harder than they need to be? Because just identifying that is the very first step on this incredible journey of continuous improvement.